Hello, this is Sophie Lawson from sophielawson.com, and this is another quick look video where we quickly look at various art books and magazines. And my favourite little Dennis is with us today, and well, I picked my favourite because today we're looking at two of my favourite art magazines. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to compare the two issues. They're not directly the same types of magazines, but they are really. They're both art magazines. And I think I'm more comparing the subscription. So what is it like to subscribe to these two issues, these two magazines? So the first one we've got is ImagineFX magazine, which is a monthly magazine. You actually end up with 13 issues over the course of a year, so it's a little bit more than a month. And this one here, Character Design Quarterly magazine. This is my all-time favourite thing. I think if somebody came and took all my things away and said you can only have one thing in your life, I would keep this subscription. I feel like that's the best thing ever if you're into character design and stuff. So I'm comparing these two magazines, but I'm more comparing what it's like to subscribe. So I'm going to talk about any little freebies you get, and also I'm going to talk about like the packaging and things. What's the packaging like? Because I feel like the packaging is quite important. Because if you're subscribing to a magazine, it means you obviously love it. So you want it to be looked after. That's what I think. So it's quite important what the packaging's like. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I was going to actually make loads of notes on this because I've got quite a lot of things to say. I was going to make loads of notes and sort of make it all professional. But I thought to myself, no, if I'm actually spontaneous and if I just say it without thinking, I feel like the truth comes out. So hopefully this will be quite a truthful one. I'm going to be honest, but the thing is, to start with, I love both of these. So really I would say get both of them. That's the first thing I'd say. And I definitely recommend subscribing because it's really cool when it pops through your letterbox, like a little present. But let's get into this one. I think I will start with the covers. Yeah, that's a good thing, I think, the covers. So I'm going to start with the covers. So some of the things I'm going to be talking about is I'm going to talk about the packaging, freebies. I'm also going to talk about the quality of the paper, that they use in these magazines. I know it's a bit weird, but I'm going to talk also about the shape of the magazine. Because quite strangely, ImagineFX magazine has changed shape. It's had 3 different shapes over the years, which is quite weird. And I'm also going to talk about the quality of the actual package. I'll briefly talk about the quality of the articles, the little articles, and things like that. So where am I going to start? I'm going to start with the covers. So what I did on this was, I actually selected 2 magazines from this year, 2021. And this one here is issue 201. Which is about 2 or 3 months old. That's the ImagineFX magazine. And this one is Character Design 15. Actually, I think this one might have come out at the end of last year. But the thing is, these have both got the same artist on the cover. And it's the artist Bobby Chow. So what I thought was, this is quite a sort of a fun way to look at what sort of things the magazine would pick. So ImagineFX went with a very sort of colourful character. Character design went with a more muted character, but for me personally, I think this one here is much more beautiful. And also the entire cover sort of what would you call it? The cover complements the actual artwork. It's almost like the colours of the logo, they change it to complement it. Whereas with the ImagineFX magazine, well, firstly we get adverts, so straight away, even though it's a bum, which is quite cool, the problem is we've now got adverts, which is a bit dirty. I feel like it's a bit dirty. And also the side of it is always white. Every so often they changed, well, in the old days they used to change the sides of it, but recently, ImagineFX magazine, it tends to stick with white sides. Maybe they're trying to save money or something, I don't know, but so that's it really. And the other thing I like is Character Design Quarterly magazine goes with matte paper, whereas ImagineFX goes with glossy. So firstly, I prefer matte paper. I think it's more professional. And also the thing with this is when you're doing videos, it has a tendency to sort of do that. But what is good about it is they can do this sexy thing where, look, from a certain angle you can't see the logo, but they sort of hide the logo in the artwork. ImagineFX, I love it when they do that. So they both got positives with in terms of the covers. What else have we got here? Well, just look at the quality of this. Look, there's a sort of a quality about this Character Design Quarterly magazine, which is always missing in the ImagineFX one. And I feel like the reason for that is this one here, ImagineFX, goes onto the, like, you can pick this up in WH Smith's, so, and it comes out every month. So I'm sure they've got to sort of balance the quality of it with the actual practicalness of putting one out each month. So I feel like that's probably something at play there. But what is good is, in the old days, when was this? 2013. ImagineFX magazine, they started doing, I wish you could feel it, but they started this fantasy illustration section, which they are still sort of doing. In 2021, they're still sort of doing it. They've just renamed it Traditional Artist. So it's the same sort of thing. But in the old days, this used to be, like, you know the paper you get in a sketchbook, that rough paper? They did that, and it added a touch of quality about it. But what they've done now is they've stopped doing that. So now what we have is, this paper here feels like the sort of paper you get in like a TV guide magazine. If you ever, or this is very just cheap paper, I suppose. You feel like you could rip it very easily. Whereas with the Character Design Quarterly magazine, this paper feels like quality. I would say it feels like I would say it feels like about 2, maybe even 3 of these. Might even be 4. Yeah, so the quality of this paper with the character design is just much better. So what it does is, as you're going through it, it just feels more expensive. And it isn't really. These here, they cost, what do they cost? I think you get 4 issues for £35. So what's that? It's not even £10, it's about £8. This is £8 for every 3 months. This one here, I believe, is £5.99 if you bought it in the shop. But if you subscribe to it, you get it for about, I got it for £26 for 6 issues. So that is probably cheaper. But then you get more of these over the years, so you're actually spending £50. So you're spending more, but you're getting more. This is quite cool. So what else am I going to look at? Well, the other thing is, if you subscribe to the Character Design Quarterly magazine, you actually get a little sketchbook with the Character Design Quarterly logo on it, which I think is cool. It is really cool, that. It's a nice little Brucey bonus. Now what's amazing is, they do reward loyalty. So each year when you resubscribe, you actually get a new sketchbook. So I've got a couple of these already. Now the thing that's a bit sad is, with the ImagineFX magazine, I feel like they don't actually reward loyalty. For instance, at the moment, if you subscribe to this magazine, you get this software called Rebel, which is worth £90. Now, sadly, if you're already subscribed to it, you don't get that. So what it does is it leaves a bad taste in the mouth, because you sort of think, well, why can't I have that? I know it's a bit weird, but and then you sort of think, well, I'm not going to bother subscribing next time. I'll just wait until they give a new offer. Whereas with this, because you get a little sketchbook, you sort of think, well, that's nice. They didn't have to do that. They could have given you that at the start and not the next time. But the fact that they do, it just shows that, for me, it feels like they sort of love you a little bit more. That's just the feeling I get. But this is not a review of the. It's not a review of the quality of the magazine. It's the experience, I suppose. It's the experience of subscribing that I'm talking about at the moment. And one of the main things is the packaging. So once again, this is another area that the ImagineFX magazine falls a little bit short. So look at this. So these magazines are going to get delivered through your letterbox, which means they're going to go through the thing and they're going to fall on, the postman's going to pop them through and they're going to fall onto the floor like that. So there's a chance that it might actually hit at an angle like this. And if that hits and from quite a high height, it's potentially going to actually bend the corner. And as I said at the start, if you're subscribing to these magazines, it's because you love them and you want to collect them. So you sort of want them to be in as good a condition as possible. So the beautiful thing here is, well, if you subscribe to the Character Design Quarterly magazine, they put them inside of these little cardboard things. So these envelopes, and there's plenty of room inside of it. So if the postman throws this around, there's less chance of it damaging the corners, that's what I suppose. Whereas with this, all we've got is, with the ImagineFX magazines, all we've got is a bit of paper. Again, it feels a bit like they're trying to save a little bit of money. So there's nothing against that. We've all got to save money, but I feel like maybe they surely could find a way to put a little bit of cardboard in there or something. Or even just a bit of bubble wrap on the corners, just a tiny bit. I think that would make a bit of difference, that would. So, but other than that, the experience of the packaging, well, it is just packaging, isn't it? But I feel like that's quite an important part of it. So, what else have we got? Let's talk a little bit about the shapes of these things. So, if we look at the ImagineFX magazine, I'm going to go through some older issues here. The first thing to say is the Character Design Quarterly magazine, it has been the same shape and size since the very first issue. Since the very first issue, it's been the same shape and size. And what they do is, each issue has a different coloured spine, which is beautiful. So when you've got all these lined up on your bookshelf, it looks brilliant because they're all the same size. It just looks more, it looks nice. It's all sort of even. Again, with the ImagineFX magazine, I think so far they've had four different sizes, but it might just be 3. But look, if you've got these on your bookshelf like that, you end up with these all looking out of shape and stuff. So they started out with, this is one of the early ones, issue 16. Oh, it's also worth noting, if you pick up the ImagineFX magazine from like the W.H. Smiths, it comes with all this text on the cover. So one of the benefits and the beautiful things about subscribing is you get the same cover normally. In the old days, again, they used to have different covers on these. So if you subscribed, you got a completely different cover. And they used to put the subscription cover on the back. That's what they used to do. And then recently they've started putting adverts on there, which I think is a bit poopy. But the other thing is, if you subscribe, you get the cover without any artwork on it. And look how much more beautiful it looks. So for me, it really is worth subscribing just to get the cover. That's what I think. But in the old days, the first few issues of ImagineFX magazine, it was more of like a sort of, it was long but much thicker. Look, if you compare it to the recent one, you can see it's much thicker at this side, but it's much thinner at the top. After that, they moved into this size. This was my favourite size actually. This one here, like, they shrunk it even smaller. And this went on for about, well, I think it was about 30 or 40 issues. For me, this was the best size. It's just a beautiful size. If we compare that to this, look, it's the same sort of width, but it's missing some from the top. And I know you would think, well, it's much better to have it's much better to have a bigger magazine, but there's something really beautiful about this size. I don't know what it is. It's just, for me, that's perfection, and it almost fits in with the same size as the Character Design Quarterly magazines. So I feel like, for me personally, I like to have shorter but fatter magazines. That's what I think. But I just found it, and then what was it? Yeah, and then they went to this one. So we've had 3 different sizes of these ImagineFX magazines. Look, so it's quite strange. I wonder why they did that. There must be a reason for it. But I'm quite interested to ask them, I suppose. And then what else am I going to look at here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly look at the articles. So at the moment, it probably sounds a bit like I'm being a bit negative towards the ImagineFX magazine, but in terms of the actual content, they are both amazing, and they're both so different. That's the thing. They're both so different, but they're covering the same thing. We're looking at characters and beautiful inspirational artwork and really fun. Look at this. Look, sketches, stories, articles. So what I love about this ImagineFX magazine is you're learning, you're getting inspired, and you also get tutorials and stuff on the videos. That was another thing. You used to get a DVD with these magazines. What you get now is you get downloadable videos, which I don't enjoy as much, but again, I think it must be another sort of cost-saving thing. So this, and also what we get with this is, which we don't get with that one, is we get actual, what do you call them, reviews. So we get reviews of like video games, DVDs, art books, art tools. So what I like about it, I think that's brilliant, because you might see something, you think, oh, I want to look into that, and all the stuff is always related to art. Even if it's, say, a video game, they're sort of talking about the artness of it. So I think that's cool. The Character Design Quarterly magazine, I feel like the presentation is just, it's another level. I think it is. It's another level. It's what I love about a Character Design Quarterly magazine is it's simple, but there's lots of information here. Whereas with the ImagineFX magazine, you can see it's a bit more chaotic. So we're still getting a lot of information, but it's just a lot more, it's a bit more chaotic. And also, ImagineFX magazine is full of a lot of adverts and things. So again, I don't know why there's so many adverts in these, but I guess they got to make some more money again. But like, yeah, the quality of this paper, this is amazing. It almost feels like, I can't explain it. It just feels amazing. So look at the way these articles are laid out. It's beautiful. Bite size of information. But again, we're getting the same thing. We're getting interviews with artists. Look at this, look. Inspirational artwork we're getting. We're getting little articles. So what's this one here, look? Stylising and mixing messages. But we don't get any interviews in this one. But what I do love is, at the back of these magazines, you get the little faces of all the artists, which I love that. And that's another thing as well, we've got these little Character Design Quarterly magazine characters, reoccurring characters. They're all over the place, look, they're in the logo, and they're all over the things, look. These are cool, they are. They're also on the little sketchbook, look, if you can see that in the little thing. So there's a bit more personality in these Character Design Quarterly magazines. What was I talking about just then? I was going to say something about this one. I can't remember. But the thing is, basically, in terms of content, both of these are amazing. If you want to learn stuff, you're going to learn stuff from both of these. If you want to be inspired, you're going to be inspired by both of these. So I highly recommend getting both of them. It's just, I feel like there's a little few things that could be improved on both of them. So what would I improve about subscribing to the ImagineFX magazine? I would definitely want to improve the packaging. I would want to have a way of rewarding loyalty. So when they, for instance, give away, where is it? When they give away this software package to new subscribers, I feel like there should be a way that they can reward loyal customers. Something like that, I'm not sure. Also, I would like it if they could somehow improve the quality of the paper and somehow remove the adverts. I know they can't do that probably. Maybe if they just stuck all the adverts at the back, something like that, so we can sort of ignore. To be honest though, there isn't as many in these 2021 issues. I feel like it was around 2012, 2013, they just went crazy with adverts. So maybe they were sort of struggling to pay the bills back then. Oh, there's another thing I love as well. The ImagineFX magazine goes into the artist studios. so we get to see little studios. And what is fun is they've started doing that in these character design quarterly ones. I don't think it's in this one, but the recent one, where is it? Have I got it over here? Yeah, issue 17, which was the recent one. They actually started looking into the artist studio somewhere. Yeah, look. So I love that. I feel like you can learn a lot by looking at artist studios. So this is brilliant. So what else would I improve about this one? I feel like I would somehow make it less messy, because I don't know how to explain that. Like this page, there's a lot of information. Maybe they could somehow, I don't know. I need to compare it out. I mean, look at this. Look, there's lots of information on this one and this one, but this one's it's minimalism. Yeah, I feel like maybe I would like it if they could somehow cut. Oh, I like that as well. ImagineFX magazine, you get letters. So there's like interaction between, yeah, that would be cool. That's something I'd like to see in this as well. Character Design Quarterly magazine. It'd be nice if they started doing like a way for the subscribers to have their say. Oh, there's something amazing in here. They both do this. So the ImagineFX magazine has this thing called FX Pose. So what we get is each issue is basically looking at artists and looking at their artwork, which is brilliant. And I don't know if they're still doing it like that, but what this used to be basically readers of the magazine. So this was just readers of the magazine could submit their artwork. So again, there's this beautiful sort of community feel to this ImagineFX magazine. This to me feels a bit like DeviantArt. Yeah, ImagineFX feels like DeviantArt, whereas Character Design Quarterly magazine feels a bit more like ArtStation. They're doing the same thing, but they're different, but they're the same. So what we get with the Character Design Quarterly magazine is we get a thing called the gallery, which is actually Little Dennis's is his favourite bit of these magazines. Now again, look at the presentation here. It's beautiful. You could sort of cut these pages out and stick them on your wall. It's like I know it sounds weird. It's like 3D Total Publishing magazines and art books are like a piece of art. Whereas ImagineFX magazine is more like a magazine. But the thing is, the covers are a work of art as well. So with the covers, I feel like you could cut the covers out and put them on the wall. Is there anything else I would want to improve about ImagineFX magazine? Yeah, not really. I love it, I do. It always inspires me. And yeah, I like the fact that you get traditional as well. I think that's brilliant. Whereas with Character Design Quarterly magazine, it is all about the characters. But it's actually not. Because some of them, they're talking about like adding story and stuff to like the scene. So it's not just about the characters. Because what I've started to realise is, just because it's character design, the background is actually a character in itself. So even though this is focused on characters, we're still going to be learning about everything, because everything is connected. What else would I improve about this? I'll tell you what I would like is if we got to see what the little editor looked like, because that's something I love about the ImagineFX magazines. I want to get one with little Claire. Claire's my favourite. So with the ImagineFX magazine, we get to see little Claire, which what it does is it creates a connection between me and the editor. I feel like a little bond with little Claire. I sort of care for Claire. Whereas with Samantha's just a name. I don't know nothing about Samantha. I don't think she's in the back anywhere. No. So I would like it if we could somehow have a little face of Samantha. So we could have a little connection thing going on. I think that'd be cool. I feel like it'd be nice as well if these ImagineFX magazines had a bit more personality. What it feels like to me is the Character Design Quarterly magazine feels like a complete package. Yeah, it feels like a complete package. The ImagineFX magazine feels more like separate things put together inside of a magazine. Almost like you've got a bunch of people working on it separately. Whereas with this, I feel like there's more communication going on between each sort of part of the magazine. So, but that's it really. Like I said before, both of these magazines are so amazing. I recommend subscribing to them both. You're going to learn so much. You're going to get inspired, and they're beautiful things to collect as well. Like when you've got loads of these on your bookshelf, it feels cool. But the main thing is, the reason I say to subscribe to them is, it's like it's something to look forward to each month, or every 3 months with this. Yeah, like what happens is, when it comes for your letterbox, you get all excited because you want to see what the cover looks like. You want to go inside and see what's inside of it and stuff. So it's brilliant, and it is, like I said, it's almost like a little treat each month, something to look forward to. Little Dennis enjoyed that one. I hope you did as well. It was a little look at the character design quarterly magazines and ImagineFX magazines. Like I said, I really hope you enjoyed that. If you could, what do you think is better as well? Do you prefer like glossy covers or matte finishes? Do you prefer the long ones or the little short ones? Sounds a bit rude, but yeah. Well, what do you prefer? What sort of shape do you prefer? And also, have you got any things that you'd like to add to these magazines, or things you think they could improve and things? Because maybe what we could do is we could build a big list of things to add to each of these magazines to make them even more amazing, which I think would be quite cool. Because the thing is, nothing is ever perfect, and even though the ImagineFX magazine, for instance, has changed shape and stuff over the years and changed the paper and stuff, it shows that they're not sort of stuck in their ways, I suppose. They are willing to change things if it's not working. So I feel like they would listen. And the fact that they get letters means they are sort of listening to us as little readers and stuff. And also with the character design quarterly magazines, what sort of things would you like to see added to those as well? Because who knows, we might be able to shape the direction of these magazines moving forwards. So if you're subscribed to either of these, please let me know your thoughts and stuff. I'll also put links in the description so you can go directly to the websites. That's another thing as well. With the ImagineFX magazines, you can subscribe to them all over the place. There's loads of different companies that are offering subscriptions, but I would recommend going directly to Future Publishing, only because if you're going direct with the publisher, the battery just died on my camcorder. But so what happened was, recently I moved, and when you move, there's always this thing of, well, what I thought was, are my subscriptions going to get compromised, I suppose? Are my issues going to go to the wrong address? So this is another thing. It was very easy to contact 3D Total Publishing to update my address, and also ImagineFX magazine, very simple. You log into the website, change your address, and it was updated. Now the thing is, if you went with an external company for your subscription, you would have to change your address for that external company. They would then have to contact Future Publishing. So what's happening is you're adding a middleman, which means there's more chance of things getting a bit thingy. And also I thought to myself, let's say you subscribe to ImagineFX with a different company and that company goes out of business, what's going to happen then? You might lose your money. Whereas with Future Publishing, I feel like it's a bit more secure. And also, for me, I just feel a bit more nicer supporting the actual publisher directly. That's it really, yeah? But look how beautiful these covers look. They're brilliant, they are. So I hope you enjoyed that, and like I said, please leave your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you later for another one.